We're going to be talking today about non-negotiable terms when it comes down to yourself, to business, to relationships, to friendships, and even family.
What is non-negotiable? Again, an excerpt from an IG Live. The first bullet point that I got is identify your truth.
What matters is how you deal with everything at the moment. If you lose sight of the direction that you're going, you tend to spiral.
The human race is divided in two distinct sexes, male and female. While the typical man is a simple creature, there exists a subgroup, the nice guy, a dying breed of chivalrous, romantic, domesticated gentlemen whose qualities are desired by the opposite sex, allegedly. However, they are dismissed and confined in such concepts as the bestie, work husband, and the dreaded friend zone. Joe, Jason, and Manny are the last of the nice guys.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another fantastic episode of The Last of the Nice Guys. I'm subbing in for our host, Joe. So I'm Jason, and with me is Manny. And today we have a brilliant topic that is inspired by beautiful Golda from her IG Live on January 19th, 2022. Today's topic is non-negotiable, the power of no. We're going to read these bullet points that I took notes on, and we're going to get to it. All right, guys. That's me doing Joe's stupid intro bullshit thing.
You forgot the list again, bro.
I can't do it with a list, okay? Without spitting all over my mic, which is...
And then what you should do, right, is you should get a shirt that's got fake tattoos on it, and then you go like, look,
don't even try me. I actually have fake sleeves. I bought them because so I can put them on fake sleeves. It's true. I have them.
There you go. Next episode.
Next episode. As we continue with our Joe list, not our joy list, but our Joe list recordings until he reappears from wherever hole he's hidden himself in. So yes, today's topic is what is non-negotiable? The power of no, and this absolutely came from an IG Live. From the wonderful, beautiful Golda.
Basically, something that is non-negotiable cannot be changed by discussion, okay? So it doesn't matter how many times you talk about it, it will not change.
Golda says underscore beautiful Golda underscore BEAUTIFUL GOLDA. She is a Monet distributor, but she does a lot of lives that are inspirational and deep and thought-provoking. And so I logged into one of them. And she was discussing what is non-negotiable for you. And so I took some points and I said this will make a great episode. And she actually generously allows me to discuss this. So let's get into it. The power of no. What is non-negotiable? Again, an excerpt from an IG Live. The first bullet point that I got is
to identify some personal truth. So you have to ask yourself those hard questions, the tough questions.
What would you say is your truth, Manny?
See, it's an interesting question, but yeah. I think it needs more depth, like truth as far as what is concerned.
As your mantra. Okay, so like my truth is nothing is as it seems. And that dovetails into listen to everything, but believe only what you can prove. That's my truth and my mantra. So like what would you say is a statement that dictates your reality? That's what I would say your truth is. What is something that you find yourself repeating? What do you find yourself? It could be, it doesn't have to be deep. It could be simple.
Let's see. One thing I'm constantly repeating to people is, everybody's going through a tough time right now because of stuff. And I always tell a lot of people, or I've been telling a lot of people, like, things can always be worse. What matters is how you deal with everything at the moment. If you lose sight of the direction that you're going, you tend to spiral. Your mind goes, you can't focus, and you're trying to grasp at two different, or not two different things, but many different things at once, and that stops you from progressing forward. So if you obviously don't move forward, you can't get past the hump in the road or the brick wall that you're currently hitting. So my thing is just, it can always be worse, and stay focused on your path. Just remain focused. Take one thing at a time, and take one thing day to day. Knock off, things that you can control at that moment, because a lot of things are uncontrollable, in the world, and that's just what it is.
Yeah. So
that's something I'm constantly repeating lately.
Right. Exactly. And so that's your personal truth. Now, it doesn't have to be one thing, it could be many things. But yeah, that's exactly right. For what you said, it can always be worse, and identify what you can change and what you can't change, and then that will guide your decisions and everything. I think my glasses are the same as yours. Anyway,
that's and I hate everybody. Go make me a sandwich.
There you go. So so her next bullet point was,
and define not only what you willed and won't accept from others, but also what you will or won't accept from yourself.
These are like the deep non-negotiables. What would you, let's do turn-ons first. What would you say are your turn-ons? And not just from women, people in general.
People that are strongly independent, that they don't require assistance. They don't ask for it. And if in the times that they do, it's because they've never asked and they're really, really in need of it. But just straight up like independence and the ability to comprehend both sides of whatever's being said to you. Because obviously perception is very big in today's world, but not too many people understand that when one thing gets said, it can be perceived in multiple ways.
Yes.
So people today have to have the ability to be like, this one statement that was just said, I need to analyze that and think differently than what I normally would, and maybe not take that as like an insult,
or God forbid, just inquire with the person. What did you mean by that? How about that?
Yeah.
Instead of that too. And I find it funny because I'm going through this now with people, and where they're trying to, for me, there's usually no subtext. There's usually no nuance. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. Right. And I have people who just dig deeper into my words. And I said, no, I said the sky is blue. That's the statement. There is no way to go around it. Not, okay, well, shade of blue, or is that his favorite color? No. I make a statement. I mean what I say. You don't have to dig deeper. And if you're trying to dig deeper, why don't you just ask me? Because I'll tell you that's all I meant to say. So yeah, I agree. Just all that forget all that. Don't analyze somebody's words. Just ask them, well, what did you mean by that? Or this is how I felt when you said this. Can you clarify? What's the harm?
Exactly.
Yeah. Any other turn-ons? We can go back and forth. I'll tell mine. Consistency is a turn-on. Consistency in everything, whether it be your work ethic, your personal life, your personal mantra, your time management. I mean, don't get me wrong. People have their issues where things happen, but then there are some people that are just all over the place, all the time, forever. A turn-on for me is consistency. That even if you're busy, you're still consistent. I know what's going on with you. You're busy because you're doing all these things. It makes sense. I don't do well with inconsistent people, or people that are ruled by chaos. There are a lot of people who actually define their reality by chaos, that when things are going well, they'll shake it up consciously or unconsciously, because God forbid you settle into a routine or something that's stable. So consistency is a huge turn on for me. If I see you're consistent, again, not not bored and sitting down and having a routine. No, but you're consistent in your behavior, mannerisms, your thought process, and your time management. Huge turn on. What about you, Joe? So Joe, see, I missed Joe. I called you Joe. What about you, Manny?
Hold on. Hi, guys. So I like tattoos.
I like turtles. What was another turn on for you?
I mean, I think, yeah, the same thing for me is consistency too, because I deal with chaos and inconsistency every day.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, that's definitely another one to check on my list and put on my list. Another thing for me is just, like I said, basic understanding. Like,
oh, you just stole my next one.
just basic understanding. Like if someone says something to you, and just because of, your history or things that you've experienced in the past, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's an attack on you or something negative or anything of the sort. Just take it for what the words are, and then be like, okay, let me think about it. Oh, is this person trying to attack me? Like, don't off rip just get the claws out and be like, what do you mean? Like, what was you trying to say? Like, that drives me crazy. Like, just basic understanding of everyday life, what people are going through today, because there's so much going on. So it's just everybody's stressed out.
Right.
So just sit back and just be like, you know what, Usa, maybe that wasn't meant to be said or acted on that way, because maybe my stress levels are also high. So let's bring it down and understand what's going down in this moment. Just take a breath, take a step. That's it.
Understanding. For me, another turn on would be open-minded. Being open-minded, willing to have a discord about things that we do or do not disagree with or agree with. Anybody that knows me, I'm a different thinker. I'm a free thinker, and I'm willing to entertain the absolute obscurest of concepts. For example, I've mentioned this in many different podcasts. I consider myself to be a globe Earth skeptic. That's just me. It's something that I'm researching. It's something that I find interesting. And if you want to know what that is, email me, and I'll do a whole episode about it, because I'll talk about it forever. I don't talk about it much anymore, but don't write me off because of that. Oh, now you're crazy, you're dangerous, you're nuts. No, I just have a different way of thinking about certain things. And it goes back to the whole, if I can't prove it, it's to myself, it's not my truth. It may be a truth or a recognized established truth in society or science or religion or whatever. But if I can't prove it, it's not my truth. Doesn't mean I'm going to ignore it and not follow whatever guidelines, but I won't have my personal faith or my personal good faith behind it. Being open-minded is important, meaning you bring me a topic, we have a debate about it. I love to debate. My goal is always to be right. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. I try to avoid that as much as possible. But once I'm hit with something that I'm wrong, that's it. I got nothing. I'll just say, you're right. My bad. Literally. Being open-minded and being able to entertain alternative discussions, alternative viewpoints, not an attempt to sway you, but at the very least, you can have a conversation without it devolving into name calling, into bullshit. Right. So, and this all goes back to the power of no and being non-negotiable. Even when we're talking about our turn-ons, it means if you don't have these traits, it's non-negotiable for us to be in our lives, and whether it be romantically or friendship or coworkers. These things are non-negotiable. You need to have these things, and you need to know what you do and do not want that are non-negotiable for you, because that's how you limit and you filter who you allowed in your person. There are always going to be people in your orbit, but who you allowed into your person is a choice, and that choice should be dictated by, of course, your personal truth, your turn-ons and your turn-offs, as per Beautiful Gold is live. But yes, open-minded. Listen to the other side. And you don't have to agree with it. No, in no way, no shape or form is anybody's belief dependent upon anybody else's co-signing of it. However, or it shouldn't be, at least.
Right.
But to be able to sit there and listen to another side and have a really fun, it doesn't even have to be super intelligent or cerebral, but to have a conversation about it. I need somebody who's open-minded. I need people that are open-minded, minded, and do not belittle me or anybody because they think
for your way of thinking.
Exactly.
Right.
Any other turn-ons, Manny?
Empathy.
Oh God, this is where I suck. I suck at empathizing. Not that I don't. Okay. Can you explain the difference between sympathy and empathy for our audience?
So, an empathetic person actually has a conscience, and they understand that saying and doing certain things could harm or insult somebody else. Therefore, they think first before they ask. Sympathy is just you're feeling sad, you're feeling sorry for the situation. Like it's kind of like the after effect of empathy.
Yeah.
Like you've already said it, and then you're like, damn, ooh, my bad, bro. Now you're being sympathetic.
Right. So
empathy for me,
yeah,
empathy for me is just like you just like when you go out to dinner and you go out to that one person who's just like, the food comes and you're like, the noodles are too hard, bring them back. And then you come back and and then the food comes back and it's just like, now the sauce is too yellow. It's something crazy like you don't understand. These people in the service industry are working hard. Sometimes they don't. You might get a bad night. You might, whatever shit just is awry. But everybody has things going on. So everybody has an off day. And if you're not the kind of person to understand that that's a normal, broad thing, and you're the only person that does, that's not an empathetic person.
Yep.
And that's somebody I can't be around.
Yep. So basically, empathy is being able to identify with somebody else, their struggles, and put yourself in their shoes. Sympathy is just feeling bad for their shoes. So I changed what I say. I'm actually good at empathy. I'm terrible at sympathy. I am. I just, not that I can't feel bad, but I can't feel bad. No, let me stop. No, but empathy, yeah, I agree. Very important. It's the ability to sit there. So in that situation, they might have messed up your order a little bit, but it's nothing crazy. You identify with the person, you realize that it happens, you let it go, you move on. The person, that's empathy. That's empathizing with them. Sympathy would be your friend who feels bad because she messed up the order and independent of why it happened. Just, she must be having a bad day. I feel bad for her. That's sympathy. So I agree. Lack of empathy, and that's actually, it's the lack of empathy is a symptom of selfishness, or at least being too self-absorbed. Yep. Because if you can't think beyond yourself, so I had a good example. I went out on a date with it's actually the same chick who told me I talk too much on this podcast. Our first date, we went out, went to the taco spot. Love the taco spot. She ordered something. Yep. She ordered something because she thought it was something else, but that's how they make it. That's how it was. So the order wasn't wrong. It just wasn't what she expected. So she wanted to take it back. It's my date. I said, don't worry about it. Order something else. But she insisted on taking it back. The waitress made it very clear, but I can't take it back. This is what you ordered. This is correct. And if I take it back, it comes out of my tips, or it comes out of her pocket. But this date of mine still insisted on her taking it back. And I said, whoa, you just, I mean, in my mind, I'm like, this is our first date, by the way. I said, you just heard her say that if she takes it back, it comes out of her pocket because it looks like it was her mistake. Like if she ordered the wrong thing. And in reality, you did pick something and it wasn't what you expected. That's not her fault. In the end, I quelled everything and I told her, listen, knock it off. I said, stop, relax, or something else. It's fine, ma'am. Please just put it in a to-go box. I'll take it home. That was me empathizing. And that was her not empathizing and also having lack of sympathy. How she made it past the first date with me, I don't even know to this day, but that showed me something about who she was. Because in the end, she's the same one that, called me all kinds of whatevers and wouldn't take responsibility for some of her behaviors. That's crazy. So yes, I absolutely agree with you. If you don't have empathy, forget sympathy. If you don't have empathy, you can't identify with your fellow man. That's a deal breaker. That is a non-negotiable. That's a no. Any more turn-ons? I don't want to say you have to be smart, but I would like you to have to be well-read in some way. I want you to care about the world that's around you. I want you to know beyond what's on TV. I want to have discussions about, I don't want to say politics, but you know what I'm trying to say, Manny?
Yeah,
like,
please don't.
I want to have meaningful conversations.
Please don't be one of those people that's like, I know everything because I read it on the internet, so you're stupid, and I know better because Facebook, Instagram, and Google told me so. Like,
yes,
no.
please don't.
No,
please don't. Please be able to think for yourself beyond what you see, beyond the information, both alternative, and mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important that I'm able to have meaningful conversations. That's it. Because if it's superficial, you're gonna lose me. My eyes are gonna glaze over. Sure, I can have a superficial conversation. I can talk about the hottest show, the hottest movie, but I'm gonna want something more mentally stimulating. I'm not saying you need to have read the encyclopedia back to front. What I am saying though is have more depth to you. Any more turn-offs before we go to turn-offs?
None that I can think of, man. That was pretty.
Isn't it?
Pretty hard hit.
See? So turn-offs. You want to hit that up first? Turn-offs.
Selfish and inconsiderate people, just for the sake of doing it.
Yes.
It's not even like,
I call those people miserable for the sake of being miserable.
Yeah, man. Like it's just not like it's like, oh, I do want to understand that, whatever, but it's not my problem. It's not me. It's got nothing. No, like, because you might get there one day. You might be in those shoes.
That's what I'm always saying. People have asked me, Jason, why do you put yourself out there for people? Why are you watching their kids? Why are you, helping them with their schoolwork or whatever with your skills? Why are you doing this? And I said, it's about the person to help them, but it's more about, you can't ask from the universe what you're not willing to give yourself. So I would hope that if I was in a situation where I needed assistance with my children, where I needed a ride, where I needed somebody's expertise to help me go further in my career or education, that they would be there and wouldn't ask for anything in return. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's exactly what you're talking about. That's how I am. I think about, it's called paying it forward and hoping that when I need it from the universe, it will provide. People will be around me and they will provide what I need, because I provide for what other people need when I can, as much as I can. So I totally agree with you. What are you doing?
That's trying to mess with my mic.
Oh, okay. It seems like you're just playing around. What is he doing?
Yeah, that selfishness, inconsiderate. Obviously the person that likes to be the smartest person in the room, but obviously is not.
The shade.
It annoys me so much. Like you got the person, okay, who likes to see everything or read everything off the internet and believe what says to them, and then you've got the people that are like, well, I went to college. What does that mean? Yeah, well, have a degree. Obviously, yeah, it means I'm smart. Okay, really, that's interesting. So you've got a piece of paper that says you spent money and wasted time in class, because I'm pretty sure you don't remember or have retained any of that information that you learned.
Agree.
And
of course, this is the guy who's currently in college again.
I mean, it's useful when you're. See, I don't think college itself is useful. I think like trade school or something that actually is in the direction of what you're going for, that makes better sense than,
if you're getting a certification or something. Yes,
right. That makes better sense than going to an accredited college and to get English and literature and then all that other stuff when you're trying to go for engineering of some sort or some sort of public whatever, and then you're learning all this other stuff that's not necessary. Like that to me is just aggravates me, and it's just scam. It's a scam in its own.
I think the funniest thing that I ever heard was when in Rick and Morty, this is not the show, but he said to Morty, he said, don't worry about school. School's not for smart people. He said that school is not for smart people because of the indoctrination. So I agree. But then of course, also there are those self-professed intellectuals who are laughably arrogant about their stance in the world and what they believe. because they believe it. They're right because they're right. People like that. Yeah. That's a huge turnoff.
Arrogant people are severely turning. They turn me off to like, because it's like, oh, like especially with people that are in a position of power,
right?
They deem, because that they're in a position of power, in their mind, it's, I'm here for a reason. I was put here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, what I've done and how I handle things is and will always be correct.
Mm-hmm.
Not you don't make any suggestions to me because you're not in my position. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm the boss. I'm the head. What I say goes. You do as I say. You do as I tell you to do it, because that's the way that it's worked. And I've mentioned this on the Friends with Issues podcast, how people that just see, there you go. Synergy. People with high positions or high paying positions or whatever, and they've been in the industry for so long or whatever they have you, and they've been doing a certain job for so long, and they're like, I know better than you do. Or, how long have you been doing this for? Oh, 20 years. In 20 years, a lot of things have changed. Have you learned what those changes are? Have you adapted to those changes? Have you figured out a different way how to do certain things, because some things could work differently than what your archaic method has done? No. Why would I do that? It's worked perfectly. Why fix what's broke? Or no. Yeah. Why fix what ain't broke? Sorry. And I look at that, I'm just like, the arrogance that just came out from that statement, it's so annoying and it aggravates me. It's just like, and same thing in a relationship. When you get involved with somebody, it's like, I've dealt with men like you, men like me. And what does that mean? Handsome, hi, bald, like what does that mean? Exactly?
Strikingly rugged.
The nice person, the guy that shows off he's nice, and then 3 months later he's a dickhead. Well, I'm a dickhead now. Like, I'm always gonna be one. So where are we going with this? I don't understand. I was just like, they just that word, that trait, that just it grinds my gears. It's so bad.
Yeah, I agree. For me, it's the antithesis of what I said before: inconsistency and wishy-washy behavior. I typically bring this up when it comes to courting women. They're they want you, they don't want you, they don't want you, but they don't want anybody to be with you. Sure, they seem to like you, but then they disappear or they ghost on you. Sure, they want to hang out, but then they don't show
up.
A baby. Leave you hang. Oh, snap! Look, look. Until see, you don't know something till you know it. So we're still in this in the circumstantial evidence kind of thing. So we won't know till we know. So I
got some deets, brother.
Oh, you didn't tell me? Okay. I want to cut this episode off right now to hear these details. This is how I have to call you on the drive to get my son. I got to hear this. Are you serious? Okay. You a son of a bitch. All right. So what was I talking about? Yes. Inconsistency. Oh my God. But inconsistency, it drives me nuts. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect. I've done it. And when I recognize it, I try my best to atone. I don't do it on purpose. Some people do it on purpose. Some women do it on purpose. Like, yep. and I don't get it. And then they'll be inconsistent, and then they'll show up and they won't address their inconsistency. They won't bring it up. They won't mention it. They won't say anything. And you're like, why? Huh? Kind of thing. Inconsistency is a deal breaker, and it turns me off faster than anything. I'll give you a couple of chances, but I'll throw it in your face. I didn't like this. That's not how I get down. If this is who you are, let me know so I can get off the ride. And I'm like that with friends too. Couple of friends currently right now, they're being inconsistent with the project that we have, and I'm not begging you. I just stop. I freeze completely, and that's it. And then when you ask, "Ooh, what happened?" You know what happened. You weren't being consistent. You weren't communicating with me, and which dovetails into the next turnoff: lack of communication. Yep. Communication is not just having conversations. It's if you have a problem with me, holla at your boy. Because please believe, if I have a problem with you, I'm gonna address it with you at least once. And if we can't come to a consensus, I cut you off or I'll withdraw from you. You know what I'm saying? And that's my right. Nobody has to deal with me, and I don't have to deal with you. Literally. communication. And it's family, it's friends, it's whatever. You can't tell me what your problem is. Don't expect me to know, especially if I don't know. Now, if we got into a fight and it's quite obvious, cool. But if it's not that obvious, and you don't have the respect for me and for whatever association we have to tell me what's going on, give me the opportunity to rebut it. I'm not saying I'll apologize. I'm not even saying we'll come to a consensus, but at least you gave us our association, our friendship, our connection, the respect it deserved before it got dissolved. Communication. Manny, communication, lack of communication. Turn off?
Yeah, I agree with lack of communication because, again, it goes into hand in hand with one of my likes, where understanding is like a big thing because miscommunication happens every day. You say one thing, other people interpret it differently, and without asking a question or without even clarifying whatever's going on, it becomes a mess. It's chaos. No one likes chaos in their lives. No one wants to deal with chaos in their lives. I have another turn off.
Okay.
Laziness and lack of.
That is, I was about to say slothy, lazy, unproductive behavior. I was just about to say that. You and I we're here. We're here this episode. Fuck
and bitch. And lack of drive.
Yes.
You know, I know people in my life that are, you know, I don't want to say I'm included, but I hear it all the time. It's like, I hate my job. All right. Are you willing to do something else? Yeah. Have you figured out what it is? Nope. Are you even trying? Nope. Okay. Do you have maybe an interest to move up in your job? Maybe it'll be less stressful for you, or, you know, you'll be dealing with different kinds of stuff. No. I don't understand where you're going with this then.
Yep.
Why are you complaining?
Exactly.
So for me, you know, yeah, I have issues with my current job, but I have other interests that I'm still currently seeking out. I'm actually making attempts to do stuff.
Exactly.
Unfortunately for me, my job pays pretty well, so I just can't walk away and be like, I'm done.
See what I'm saying? So, and I and here's empathy. I empathize with that. Anybody knows? Since before July, I was stuck somewhere for 16 years, miserable at the world. But I was trying. I was trying to get promotions. I was trying to get transfers out. I was going to school. I was taking internships. I was trying to get into my field. I was busting my ass. I was getting nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was one of those. I hate my job. But I was actively trying to get out. So, but the problem with me was I've been there for so long. I've priced myself out of an entry-level job. Right. And that's all that was being offered to me. Entry level. You only have experience in healthcare. Here's the entry level. So I get what you're trying to say. I officially, a few years ago, priced myself out of an entry-level job, and it sucks. So I feel you on that, Manny.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, my current job is a entry-level position, but it tends to pay pretty high.
Right.
And for me, it's like I can't just walk away and be like, you know what? Fuck this.
Yep.
I'm done with this place. Let me go get a job at McDonald's. They pay $15 an hour.
Yeah,
it's not going to cover that big gap that I'm missing. So, you know, there are certain things that I'm looking into. Like I'm willing to take a pay cut, but it can't be a major pay cut because, again, I have mouths to feed.
I've only had major pay cuts for the jobs that I've wanted in my field. You know, major pay cuts. And so I get you. I know what you're saying. My job is entry level as well. It's still entry level, but even an entry level job, if you've been there long enough, I wouldn't making the big bucks, but you won't be making what an entry level person makes at an entry level job. And that's what screws you over.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's been an issue of mine for a while, but I'm looking for something that if I know I'm going to take a cut, but I don't want it to be too deep of a cut.
Yeah.
And at least I'll be able to do what I want to do. And I'll be enjoying.
You don't want it to affect too much affect the quality of life. And I get it. And because you have younger kids, it's, do you guys know that Manny is a father of daughters? And allegedly a son, but father of daughters.
I'm going to put them to work soon, you know?
So, but
I mean, I didn't admit to that.
But you know what I find funny? I mean, I agree with you. I don't care so much if you are stagnant, as long as you're not stifling my growth. That's what I'm saying. So there are some people
I mean, if you're in a relationship that's just like girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, like your life doesn't affect mine, it's kind of fine. But at the same time, it's like, if you want to make this long term, I need to see that you have the ability to want to do better, because if your unwillingness to want to do better in your own life, it's not going to work in the relationship. You're not going to want to do better. That's how I look at it.
And it's funny. I see where you're coming from, but I guess I'm so self-absorbed is that I don't give a flying, like the ex that I talked about. I told her when we started dating, I said, listen, I hope over the summer, I'm going back to school. I'm going to try. And I would try and push her. Don't you want to be more than just a server at Benihana's? And she's like, no, not really. Whatever. I just don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I was like, well, cool, but understand, I'm going to keep climbing. I was fine if she was content or less than content, or even miserable at her job, as long as she didn't bring that negativity home. You know what I'm trying to say? But as long as you understand that I'm going to keep climbing and you don't have any problem with that, or you're not going to stifle it, or you're not going to be like, oh, you're not giving me enough time, or oh, you're spending too much time on this, you're spending too much time on that. As long as you're not going to stifle my creativity and my drive, you can be stagnant all you want, because I'm going to continue on. I would hope that you would see me continuing on and you'd want to at least pace me in some kind of weird way, as opposed, so you don't get left behind. But I don't really mind it. So because that kind of drive, especially at our advanced age now, that's more of a young bucks kind of thing. We're in our late 30s. So people are kind of entrenched where they are, and they're not going to want to do much more. And I get it, because when I talk about what I'm doing with my studio and with schoolwork and the kids and work, people are like, Jesus Christ, like, really? I don't got energy for that. I'm like, I don't either, but I'm finding it. So I'm not, I would love you to be ambitious and have goals, but as long as you're not weighing me down and getting some kind of complex, is just what happens. You get a complex because I'm going further. I'm fine. Just don't weigh me down. That's a turn off for me. Don't weigh me down. Support me.
Right.
No, I'm not saying help me study. I'm not even saying make daddy a sandwich, but what I am saying is, if I can't hang with you, or be with, or hang out, or go out on a date or whatever on this particular day because I have schoolwork, or I have a studio to do, or I have chores to do, be understanding and be okay, cool, we'll reschedule it. As long as I'm not actively neglecting you. And even then I would do my best, because people do what they want to do. They'll make time. So
but my issue with that is that there are times and there are people that fall into like complete laziness where they get too relaxed, and this happens more or less like in longer term relationships where
they get comfortable, right?
They get comfortable and they're just like, if I quit my job or if I lose my job, that's all right, my man will take care of me. And
that's different. That's completely different.
That right there,
that's apathy. That's not being lack of drive. That's pure apathy. That's dangerous. That's a deal breaker. If you don't give a flying flop about contributing to the household, or contributing to your kids, or contributing to your relationship, or whatever, apathy. There you go. Turn off apathy. You just don't care. You're not putting any effort. And this is relationships. This is friendships. This is coworkers. It's everything. Apathy is a huge turn off for me. If you don't care, please believe I'm right behind you, and I won't care. And then once I reach I don't care, it's over. It's done. For example, that same ex of mine, she clearly didn't care. When she was ready to end it, all she got for me was, cool, when you come to get your stuff. I didn't say anything. I didn't feel anything. I was done. So if you have apathy or apathetic, and once it bleeds into me, it's like a cancer. It's just a countdown till it's over. Friendship, coworkership, relationship, apathy, huge turnoff. You don't care. I don't care. And don't you dare attack me for not caring when you don't care. Any other turnoffs?
When it comes to relationships, lack of affection. And that's a big thing for me, because I'm sorry to say, an affectionate person.
Yes,
But
Manny's a teddy bear. When he doesn't hate
yeah,
love, by the way.
yeah, sorry. But yeah, it's very big. I'm Hispanic, man. We're all about things being passionate, and that's
And
just
kissing
in
on
our
the cheek
core.
and all that other good stuff.
Yeah, it starts with a kiss on the hand, a kiss on a cheek, and then the next
Kiss,
thing you know,
kiss,
you're
kiss down
pregnant.
below. Oh, what? But you skipped a couple of steps, but I get it.
You never know. But it's just that's a very big thing for me. My love language is actions. It's
Mhm.
you can say a million things, but if you don't, act accordingly, it's just like, okay, cool. It's like, I love you,
That's a
and
perfect
then
turn off.
yep.
Your actions not matching your words. Absolutely right.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I love you, but then like you treat them like crap on a daily basis. It's like,
Yep.
all right, do you, or do you just love to treat me like crap, or do you
Yep.
love the fact that I'm a simp and I let you roll all over me? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I don't know anymore. Yeah, that's a very big turnoff for me. It's just the lack of affection, because unfortunately, today's women are kind of, they're either too busy, or they're too busy trying to have somebody pay for their own,
Yep.
or they're just looking to be taken care of, so they're not really paying attention to the affection part of it, and it tends to get annoying, man. Like,
Yep.
again, we're in our late 30s. We're not here to play games.
Mm.
We're if you can't, if we put it on the table and you don't follow through with it, why are we wasting time? That's
Yeah.
another thing, wasting time.
I totally agree. Wasting time. Being transparent. It's a turn off. If you're not transparent, meaning you don't tell me what you want, you're playing a game. I may not agree, and it may things may end. But tell me what you need, what you want, the friendship and everything, friendship, relationship. You tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you think and what you expect, and let's have that dialogue. But some women and some people too, they hold it back, and eventually they bring it out of nowhere, and you're so entrenched. You're like, where did this come from? I like to think I'm as transparent as I can possibly be. I made it very clear. You can get to know me before you meet me. You look at my YouTube, you look at my Instagram, you look at my Facebook. That's me. I'm transparent.
Mm-hmm.
There is absolutely nothing that I post that is disingenuous. That's me. I tell every woman, you want to get to know me before you get to know me? Look at my YouTube stuff. Listen to my podcast. Look at my Instagram. Definitely look at my Facebook. You will see everything there is to know about me, and you'll know whether you like me or not before you like me and before you meet me. It's very clear. Transparency. Let me know what you're about, and let me decide. Let me determine if I want you in my life, if I want to be around.
Let you determine for yourself, not listen to what other people are telling you.
Exactly. There's more turnoffs, but there's a few more bullets I gotta get through before we wrap this up in literally 6 minutes. Another thing she brought up was
to share your value with the members of your family.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say that I successfully, all my friends, all my associates, most of my coworkers, and definitely any love interest, they know what I'm about. I make it very clear what I'm about, what I think, how I feel. I'm not, it's not that I'm afraid of hurting your feelings, but if my intention is to educate you in who I am, if your feelings get hurt, that's on you, because that wasn't my intention.
No, definitely.
And I cannot apologize for you getting your feelings hurt as I'm trying to express myself when that wasn't my intention. If it was my intention, I apologize. And sometimes I do apologize anyway, but I apologize saying, I'm sorry you felt that way from my words, but that wasn't my intention. So I absolutely express myself to everybody, even people that I just meet. I used to when in my youth hold it back, be super nice, get along with everybody, and slowly dole out the crazy, slowly. But now I give you 100%, Jason. Either you like him or you don't. And if you don't, it's okay. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. I'll move on.
Yep.
So yes. What about you? Expressing and sharing your values with family and friends.
I can definitely say that that's happened to me, or I've done that a few times, whereas it people look at me and they're like, that's what just happened. And it's one of those, like, like you said, you held it back, And then at some point it comes out. And when it comes out, I don't want to say the wrong way, but it comes
out super abrasive.
Yeah, it's super abrasive and super passionately.
Yes.
And people look at you like, holy shit. Yep. Like, what just happened? It's just like, no. And then like a couple of days later,
quickly.
Yeah. And then, when you're finally able to sit down and actually clear it up and talk about it, it's just like, oh, okay, now I understand. Now it's clarified that, this man goes hard for his kids, that right. Damn, like, okay, we understand, like, that's a topic we don't fuck with. Like, it's just like, and it's stuff like that. Like I've it's happened a couple of times with family, close friends. And again, I'm not an angry person, and it's come out very angered. Yeah. Well, fuck you. And Joe. But it's come out, it's come out very aggressive.
Yes.
But my passion.
That's what I was going to say. I would like to substitute the angry and the aggressive for passion. It's because passion. Sometimes passion can be seen as being aggressive or angry, right. And it's not. It's just that you're passionate about it.
Right. Yeah. And you get that a lot. People are like, oh, you're raising your voice. You're talking with your hands. You're using curse words. And it's like after every other word in your sentence, like, that's just how hard I go. And that's just how strong I feel.
By the way, there's a correlation, allegedly. There's a correlation between intelligence and people who curse too much, who use a lot of profanity. The more profanity you use, allegedly, is the smarter you are. But that's just neither here nor there. But that's a study
I've said that. I've seen it too.
Yeah.
But again, it's happened, friends and family, and once the situation was understood, and it was clarified, everyone like, okay, yeah, I get it. I get it. I understand, and that's all it takes, man. Just the the opportunity to clarify and to understand. That's it. Absolutely. But you express those values, you have to have the other person understand it.
Create a list of activities that fall under your values, okay?
Whether if your values are X, Y, and Z, you have a list of things that contribute to those values. For me, it's education, and I value education. So I'm back in school. I value the almighty dollar. I'm doing what I need to do to justify that. I have a passion for digital media. I have my digital media. So
visualize yourself doing it, visualize yourself creating it, visualize yourself acting upon it, and then post it so you can kind of like hold yourself accountable, right? Put it on your wall, put it on your social media, share it on your teen chats, everything like that. It counts.
I'm going to change this because unfortunately for me, I believe that there are people in your life that don't want to see you succeed. So I would change what she says. I'd say visualize your goals, put it out in the universe mentally, whether it be on a vision board or
not to everybody,
speaking out to the universe, but do not share it. At least don't share it with everybody. Share it with people that you have almost convinced yourself that they have your best interests at heart. She says visualize your goals and share it, and I agree. But unfortunately, there are people, and they're called frenemies too. And I hate that term. They don't want to see you succeed. And when you put out there what you're trying to do, they may not sabotage you, but they'll say, are you sure that's the right thing to do? That sounds hard. Or they will try and bring you down.
They'll mess with your conviction.
Exactly. So I say visualize your goals, but put it out into the universe. Speak it into existence, but share it at the bare minimum. Because it doesn't pay to share your future goals. It pays to share your accomplishments after you've accomplished them.
Yep.
Manny, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I completely agree, because there's a lot of people in the world today that are what was it called? Miserable, and misery loves company, as they say. And people are not. Their jealousy is a very big thing. It's
yes.
Nobody. The miserable person that sees the happy person, they don't want to see that person happy. They want people to suffer just like they're suffering, so that they have something to, be in line with somebody else, and they can mingle with that person, be like, yeah, my life sucks. Your life sucks too. Yeah, my life's fucking horrible, yo. I don't know what's going on. But
exactly.
If you're a miserable person and you go to that one person like, I love my life, everything's great, my life is a ray of sunshine, you are not happy. And you just want to be like, you know what? That person pisses me off because they're so happy about everything. It's a thing. People are out there. The jealousy, the haters. It's a real thing. I mean, That's why they have online bullying. That's why bullying is a thing. You know, people that they take it amongst themselves to just be negative. You know, they can't just be like, oh, hey, hey guys, Jason, Manny, you guys are doing a great job. Yeah, you know what? I don't agree with the things that you say, but great job, guys. You got the balls to say it. No, you got everybody. It's like, you know what? Fuck you guys. You know what? My life sucks. Your life's gonna suck, and I'm gonna write about it.
Yep. And I'll make sure you're as miserable as me, because what misery loves company, which is it's the dumbest thing, it's to say, but it's reality. The last three things basically is she gave 3 bullets.
A healthy relationship with yourself. It's always super important. It cannot be non-negotiable. Your living space has to be clean, right? It has to be you. It has to be the way that you want it to be. Associate with people that are positive, people that have values and bring value to you. If you're around negativity, that's all you're going to be attracting, and that's not okay.
Yep.
That's brilliant. But when you say stuff like that, people start thinking that you only want people in your life that can do something for you. And that's not necessarily true. People can uplift you just by their presence, just by just being associated with you. It's not about what they can do for you. It's what they do with you and how they make you feel, and it's not selfish, self-absorbed to say that if you don't bring value into my life, you shouldn't be there.
Right.
And say vice versa. If you don't bring value into somebody's life, you shouldn't be there. And that's the reality of it. So I totally agree with this. We're going to wrap this up, but I'm going to leave you guys with a question that she asked on her Instagram live. And that is, what are your deal breakers? I'm going to ask that to the audience. What are your deal breakers? Do you know what your deal breakers are? Do you have deal breakers? And by all means, email us. Let us know what your deal breakers are when it comes to relationships, friends, coworkers, families. I'd love to hear that. But even if you don't want to answer us, identify your deal breakers. What are they? Because if you don't stand for something, you fall for everything. And you need to have your line in the sand. What behavior will you not tolerate? What is non-negotiable? Because the power of no is very, very important. Thank you for tuning into Last of the Nice Guys podcast. I want to thank beautiful Golda for allowing me to use her topic. You can check her out on Instagram. That's _beautiful Golda, exactly how it sounds, _BEAUTIFULGOLDA. Check it out. Very inspirational stuff. Again, she's a Monet skincare and beauty distributor, and she does some great self-help, uplifting stuff. I actually have a book called Letters or Notes from a Friend that I purchased because I listened to her live, and that's how me and her connected. She's very inspirational. She's going through her own stuff, but she is very positive about it and doesn't let her get her down. So if you need to pick me up, there you go. And she's not hard on the eyes, so check it out. So that being said, I'm Jason.
And I'm Manny.
And thank you for your time.
The Last of the Nice Guys. Follow, like, and subscribe on Twitter and Instagram at Last Nice Guys, Facebook.com/Last Nice Guys, or email lastoftheniceguys@yahoo.com.
Mental and emotional well-being. Those are things that you cannot negotiate with no one. Okay, that's completely up to you. Nobody should tell you how to feel. Nobody should tell you about your mental health. No one. It's completely on you to do those. A healthy relationship with yourself. It's always super important. It cannot be non-negotiable. You can't tell me you love somebody if you're not loving yourself.